right. Oh, wrong mic. Okay, now we're the right microphone. Greetings, people. Come on in the room. Oh, come on in the room. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in the room. Let's see. Let's have to get some time for some folks to slide on up in here. It just is. Quanny Cat in the room. Yeah, are you in the room? Are we in the room? Oh yeah. Hello. How y'all liking this experience? How we liking the nice setup? Hey Miaja. Hey. Peace, everybody. I know this is random and some folks may not slide up on here. And I get it, and I'm not gonna take it personal. Hey. Greetings. It's a vibe as per usual. You always know how to set a scene. Now, if I'm not going to do anything else, I'm going to set a scene. I'm going to set a scene. Very calm background, right? I like the colors. I like the warmth. Oh, God. Here I'm going to start trying to fix stuff that don't need to be fixed. Hold on. I just need it open just a little bit. Oh, I gotta leave it alone because guess what I'm gonna start doing? Freaking out. Okay. I'm happy to see y'all. Those that will look at this later, those that will be here with me currently in this present experience, y'all, we are almost out of here. Oh, we are almost out of here in this year. Almost gone. Almost through. Almost out of here. Isn't that wild? Did this year go by fast or what? I feel like it went by fast, personally. Do y'all think that? Oh, you said I need 2025 to be better, please. Yes. And and so shall it be. Oh, scary fast. It did. I think it went by really fast. But I'm sure some of the people are like, I don't think it went by fast enough. Every time I turn around, there was something else. Child, every time I use, I lose. And every time I turn around, back in love again. Back in love again. Truly. All right. First things first. Before we get into 2025, I just want to get some business Out. Not it was Sim sped up on 3. Hey, Tessa. Emails went out for the group mentorship. Emails went out for the group mentorship. Did you get your email? That's if you signed up for it. I've already received a good grouping of people that have already solidified their spot, confirmed their interest in the group mentorship space. So, yeah, that's, let me see. Oh, Ross. So you should have received, oh no, there's another one. So you should have received an email. You didn't get an email, Tessa? Hold on, Tessa. Hold on. Every time I lose, sent. Let me see. If not, I'm just gonna take care of it here. Why we're here? Huh? Why we're here in the natural. Let me make sure you get it. Paste. Send. Pow. Interest payment. Yes, I got you. I'm waiting until the 25th to respond back with everything. But yes, I got yours, Kiera. It's just the way that the payment thing works. It doesn't send you it automatically. So you have to do it separately. Yeah, I definitely got yours, Kiera. I know I got Chantel. I got yours, Kiera. I got Christina. I got Camille. I got Mitzi. I got Jennifer. So y'all in there. So make sure to do that. Do that there. Do that there. Do that there. Do that there. Okay. So I just sent it to you, Tessa. So you should have it now. So I just want to. The intention of the mentorship is one that there's 3 levels. So this is the first level of the mentorship, which is a 6 months. The second level of the group mentorship will be 6 months, and the third level of the group mentorship will be 6 months. And so there will be an awarding done once you complete each of the levels. But I'm going to talk about that with the people who are going to be in it. Okay? Be good old Lighthouse certified. Certified. Okay? And so there's a thing. So the 6 months, you are able to say, all right, I'm ready to move up to the next ones if you want to, or you can take the first level and be perfectly fine. But that will be over a year and a half with me. Okay. And one-on-one, not necessarily one-on-one, but in the group coaching and that information. So there is certificates and things that will go out as we complete each thing. But we're starting off with the level 1. So you got it. Okay, Tessa, good. Uh-huh. And so I'm very excited about that. I'm excited to really dive into that and really what all of that is going to look like, and definitely more so the journey and the growth, because we're getting down to it. We are getting down to the things. All right. We're doing the healing, we're doing the growing work, simultaneously, and identifying. And there's some tough parts. I'm trying to really make the tough parts for the level 2, but we're really going to be taking some deep look at ourselves and doing some deep work. But it's going to be all the work put in, all the energy, all of the evaluation is going to be worth it. So I'm very excited to dive into that. So make sure that you seize that opportunity if that is something that you want to do. If you did not get an opportunity to sign up for it when I released that, then message me so I could, because there's another process though. You got to fill out a form. You got to fill out the form. All right, because I got to make sure that you right. Because some people ain't right. Some people ain't right. Some people, they're not well enough to be in that program. So I'm very happy about that. Very excited. So I always think it's very important to share with y'all a couple of lessons that I've been learning and navigating through. Um, I've discovered in my healing journey and growing journey that I have a fear of Darcel, your skin is glowing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I have a fear of separation. I have a fear of loss. And through my work, which this is some of the work we're going to be looking into, through the numerology and things like that, I realized that. And at first, I wanted to push back against it and say, that doesn't really sound like me. But then when I leaned into it, I said, "Dear God," and I had to ask myself some questions. Hold on, because I wrote them down. Hold on. I wrote them down and I said, "Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. Hold on. I have to find it. Because, let me see. Come on now. Whatever, I'll go off the top of the dome with it. But I had to ask myself some deep questions about my fear of loss and separation and how that has shown up. Wait. I know where it's at. Hold up. Then in this folder, first question. What is my earliest memory of feeling abandoned, rejected, or separated from someone or something that is important to me? Hold on, let me plug in my computer real quick. Hope I don't mess up nothing. What's my earliest memory? And so in that, I thought about it. I said, what was it? And I realized that the earliest memory I have of being abandoned or feeling abandoned was actually my dad transitioning. That was a clear feeling of loss, a clear feeling of being abandoned. And so let's define abandonment. Let's define abandonment. Physical abandonment. So abandonment refers to the act or experience of being left behind, rejected, neglected, either physically, emotionally, or psychologically. It carries a profound sense of loss, disconnection, vulnerability, and it disrupts feelings of safety, trust, and belonging. So that left behind. I often talk about, I've talked about recently, how like I feel like when my dad died, he took a lot of my history with him. And that was something that was alarming to me in doing that work and looking at that, right? Because there's nobody knew me like my dad knew me. And nobody was supportive and caring and will fight for me like my dad will fight for me in my mind and in a particular way, right? I've come to realize that about my mother, but at that particular time, I was focused on my dad, right? And so, and my father was really much of a stay-at-home father because he had health issues. So our bond was tighter and closer than me and my mother's. And now that, things have changed, the past 8 years or 9 years, me and my mother have gotten closer, like the bond that my father had. But when he passed, what I realized and what I've come to realize through this work is that I felt abandoned. I felt left behind. Physical abandonment is when someone physically leaves or is no longer present. Okay. Emotional abandonment when someone remains physically present but is unavailable emotionally. There's psychological abandonment when someone distances themselves mentally or disregards another's emotional or psychological needs, leaving the individual to feel isolated or invalidated. But the biggest part of abandonment is not returning, having no intention of returning. Which at that time I was not interested or leaned into understanding ancestors and all of that. I did not have that information available to me. So I was 19 when my father passed away. So I was like, I just wasn't there. But that developed a fear of loss and a fear of separation for me. And then you know what that meant as I proceeded to ask myself other questions. How do you typically react when you feel disconnected or distant from someone? I lean in closer. Then, when I fear losing a connection, what part of you feels incapable of handling a situation? Are there relationships or attachments in your life that you hold on to out of fear rather than love or fulfillment. So that knocked my head open, because there's certain things that I have tolerated from people, and ways that I have allowed people to behave, and things that I know that they did, that spirit revealed to me that they were doing, that I didn't say anything about. Because there was an abandonment wound there. So I was holding on to relationships and not letting people have it how I should have let them have it. Not clearing people, not going off on people, because I was afraid of people leaving me. And it's so true. And it is because I would even not want to tell people about themselves, because I was like, this will cause a conflict, this will bring about discord, and then we would end up not being cool anymore. And now there's another loss of a relationship. You see what I'm saying? And so I was over giving, over extending, over excusing. And I was very freeing to me, because I made that about myself. Like, when I realized I was doing that, I made it about me, like just being honestly weak in many ways. And I was like, but I know I'm not weak. I know I'm not that type of, but here's the problem. People that I don't value, or people that's not close to me, I don't have a problem letting them have it. I don't have a problem telling them about themselves, because there's nothing at risk in me clearing you. There's nothing at risk in me communicating clearly to you about what you did and what you've been doing. There's a risk when it is people that I love and care about, because I don't want to lose that relationship. You see? And so I was making it about me being weak, or me not being as strong as I thought I was, and da 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 da. When the healing part was, this was an abandonment wound, baby, that you were not aware of, which is the fueling motivator as to why I'm always want to resolve something fast. I thought that I was just that type of person, that I like to fix things. I don't like prolonging problems. Part of it is, yes, you are a healthy communicator, but then there's another part of it, baby, that is you are afraid of abandonment. So you want to correct the things as quickly and as soon as possible, so that that doesn't happen, that doesn't occur, it doesn't express and show up like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I allow people to behave badly in my life. And thus I was a participant in that behavior, because I made excuse for it. But baby, one thing about me, once I realize it, you ain't got to worry about it. Because once I'm clear about it, I know what to do to correct that type of behavior. But I didn't know that. And I'm not going to hold myself at fault for what I didn't know. Mm-mm. I'm thinking I'm holding on to this unhealthy relationship, or this unhealthy way, or this boundarylessness, for one reason. But the truth is, I have an abandonment fear. I have an abandonment fear. And so I'm currently working on that and healing that, um, because I didn't know. I didn't know that that was there. And what relationships do I feel obligated to, that I have, that I know is not healthy for me. And so I've had to have some real conversations and express myself in certain ways. Um, and I was asking myself these past couple of months, there's been a lot of moments coming up where I had to confront people about things. I was like, why is that? Because I was being showed and taught in real time that I cannot be fearful of the results of my clear communication. I cannot foster a belief that if I tell the truth or if I communicate something that is not in favor of the person or does not make the person feel good or feel the best, um, I had to release this idea that that was harmful to communicate it. I had to release that. That's why I was having to confront a whole bunch of shit. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful because I'm grateful that there is work to do. Sorry, I just saw the message. Um, yeah. Anyway, so that's what I've been working through and discovering and being clear about how I show up and how I express. And I give myself permission to edit myself. I give myself permission to edit my relationships, to update my relationships, to say that the way we were operating before, that's just, we can't operate like that. I give myself permission to have updates to my life. And if you are going to be on board with that, you are. If you're not going to be on board with that, you're not. And that is your right to do that. But I'm giving myself permission to be well and to grow and to evolve and to not make things mean anything other than what I know it means. I'm giving myself permission to do that. I'm giving myself permission to have tolerated something before and to not tolerate it now. I give myself permission, and so should you. Give yourself permission to update. Give yourself permission to have thought one way and now think another. Give yourself permission, just like your iPhone updates. Guess what? Everybody don't like to update, but the iPhone said I got to update. Whether you like it or not, whether it's convenient for you or not, I have to update, or I will not be operating at my highest potential. And for that, I am grateful. I'm grateful. Shana did yo shata. So that's it. So, what are some things that, oh, well, and what's perfect about that is that we're transitioning into this number nine energy next year. And, this number nine energy is all about endings, it's all about fulfillments. Um, and it is a whole year of transformation, transitioning, and I'm in the shadow period of that because it's already started. And I'm grateful. I am grateful. And you know what else I give myself permission? I give myself permission to not have it together all the time. I give myself permission to think in between sentences, think and respond in a time that I feel is necessary. I give myself permission to do that. I used to, when I first started off, even doing this, I was very critical of myself and pauses I was taking, and how sometimes there's so many thoughts that come to me at one time that I'm like hopping over here and there. Guess what? That's just who I am. And the ways in which that I'm going to improve is how I'm going to improve. And the way I'm not is the way I'm not. Okay? Because I give myself permission to just be who I am and trust that my authenticity is not a threat to my success. Run that back. I trust that my authenticity is not a threat to my success. But is the key to my success. I give myself permission to believe that and live in that and choose that daily. So I hope you give yourself permission for that as well. What are some things that y'all have been learning, healing from, growing through? Um, Talk to me. What's some things that y'all got? Meanwhile, let me respond to this chat here. Y'all ain't been healing, growing through nothing apparently. You described me in the first session. That's what I've been dealing with. Baby. Truly. Truly. You described me in the first session. That's how I feel. Oh, I've been learning how to put myself first and choose myself over family. Very hard. I thought I had a spine biscuit, but it's very much it's giving weebly wobbly. Yeah. And guess what? We listen and we don't judge. We listen and we evolve. But again, this is the other thing. It's just like learning anything new, right? When you learn something new, or you're practicing something new, it takes time. You know, you don't have it all together, but you just got to keep doing it and it'll get better. It takes time. Yeah. I think that's something for me. And also accepting that there is more to know, not just in the way I can improve or how I can do better, but more to know as far as solutions for me. There are more solutions and more opportunities than there are not any. There are more solutions and opportunities than there are not any. And I'm also having to help myself there, because one of the things that I've learned is that I can fall into a pessimism. Or you know what I can do? If it's not pessimism, I can fall into this Buddha-esque perspective with my problems, right? Where everything is so highbrow and mystical, as a way of pulling me away from what the truth of and the reality is. Yes, I think what I need to do, and a lot of times when I'm talking to y'all freely like this, I'm actively working this out in real time. So, um, yeah. What I'm finding is I need to address things in the physical first and then in the spiritual. Deal with the physical meanings, deal with the physical reality, and then jump to the spiritual. Because I can really float in the atmosphere and make everything about ancestors and spiritual happenings and divinity and all that stuff. And that it can be true, or that is true. But what is also true is that this was just some messed up stuff. And you are dealing with suffering and you don't feel good. And you do wish things would have went a different way. That's also real. Both things are real. Now, one thing that I have been on that y'all need to take from me is threads. Y'all got to take Instagram threads away from me. But actually don't. Because I've been posting my think pieces. And my God. The people have been pissed. Pissed. But hey, it is what it is. No, Kier. No. You gonna be going ham. But on the other hand, it may be. Because I got them pissed now. Because I made several posts. I made a post about Claire Huxtable, which we got to have a different conversation. I also made a post about homophobia being really about misogyny. And the people are pissed. What could you have said about Claire? Y'all want to hear what my post said? Now, I want you to know that this was birthed from a conversation I was having with myself. Okay? But with myself, that got people up in arms. Let me put it up on the screen. Can I put threads on the screen? Let me see. Well, they weren't completely up in arms with the. Well, no, they was up in arms. I said, let me share. I said, how's it gonna pop up on this screen? Let me see if it's gonna be big enough. Yeah, I said, why is Claire Huxtable everyone's favorite TV mom? Is it her sharp wit, her professional success, or the polished perfection of her family life? Or could it be something deeper, something tied to how we define good Black motherhood? Does her popularity stem from what she represents, an ideal of affluence, professionalism, and respectability? And what does that say about the way we view Black mothers who don't fit that mold? Then there is her lighter skin, a reflection of how colorism often elevates lighter skinned Black women as the acceptable standard. And what about her ability to speak Spanish? Is this a nod to cultural depth, or does it flirt with exoticism, making her just ambiguous enough to fit a wider range of ideals? Do we love Claire because she redefines stereotypes, or because she aligns with classist, colorist, and even ambiguous ideals that are easy for society to embrace? I put no. This isn't a slight to Felicia Rashad's genius at all, but I just thought I'd pose a couple of questions. And the people have been, there's over 40 some comments from different folks chiming in on this. But here we go. I think that some people reveal, actually, this is a fire take. Isn't that I think it's a fire take as well. I do. What background is this? Oh, this is not the background I want. I think it's a fire take as well. Me personally. I think so. Because we got to think about it, right? And I'm saying this as myself. I am a Black Southern queer man who grew up around church politics. The esteemed woman in my lens growing up was a woman that was like the first lady, right? That classist pulled together, that classist, like there's a certain, that etiquette, very much Southern Belle, very much Diane Carroll, classy, even using the term of a classy woman speaks to classism, right? And it's in the culture, in the queer culture, to be grand. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that gags us. That is hilarious. That's everything. And so I had to ask myself that this is not even just for anybody. This is also about me. I'm like, is that a part of the appeal? And that's the part that we have to be honest about. So when I look at this comment, for instance, for me, it's not that deep. The phrase, I'm rooting for everyone Black, applies here. She was successful, funny, and stood her ground no matter the person. Is it wrong? She was a lawyer who graduated from a university. Skin tone definitely had nothing to do with it, because I like the original Aunt Viv just as much. The Cosby Show was groundbreaking because it's finally depicted a successful Black nuclear family. We have to tear it / her down because it wasn't good times. First off, even this concept of a nuclear family, the nuclear family is a classist ideal. You see what I'm saying? The two parents and their children in a household. That is a classist ideal. It is the belief that that is the best, most acceptable form of a family. That's the standard. Right? Now, let's just break this down. Is it wrong she was a lawyer who graduated from a university? Did I say there was anything wrong with that? But you want to know what this gives? This gives when we say Black folks are acting white and their first response is, what do you mean acting white? Because I'm intelligent, because I speak, because I know how to pronounce and enunciate my words. Is that the reason? Because I'm educated, you think I'm acting white? I didn't say you were intelligent. I said you was acting white. But the fact that you made an equivalency between whiteness and your intellect proves my point. You think that speaking with with enunciating and a way that you communicate and pronounce your words, you believe that distinguishes you and connects you to whiteness. I said that because you can't be trusted. That's why I said you acting white. That's a different conversation. We'll talk about that. That's a different conversation. Are you acting white because you've pronounced your words, or are you exhibiting a behavior that makes me feel like I can't trust you? Is it your intellect, or is it that you are displaying a behavior that mimics what a house Negro would have did? Where you would have ran off and told master, and you got that about you. There's an essence, because I know plenty of educated, well speaking Black people that are not. I don't think they act white. That's a different conversation. Moving forward. But if we look back again at her statement, she said, I'm assuming this is a woman. Is it skin? Okay. Is it wrong? She was a lawyer who graduated from university. Didn't talk about that. Like I said, it gives very much so because she's educated. Then you bring up it has a lot, like I like the original Aunt Viv just as much. The original Aunt Viv was also, let's get clear here. The original Aunt Viv was also a wealthy Black woman. She was a professor. She was an intellectual. She had money and she was classy. Again, you proving my point. Skin tone definitely had nothing to do with it. Because, but classism isn't just about complexion. And that's, I literally, respectability, affluence, professionalism. But again, it was revealing a lot of folks' internalized or their belief, their investment in classism, which is why I think it's important to have that conversation. Not only that, look at the Huxtables as a whole. Did y'all know that Bill Cosby specifically wanted a woman that spoke Spanish? Why? Right? Why? You see how that plays into exoticism. She's bilingual. And then again, the concept, she was bilingual. I think there was originally a concept of wanting Claire to be Dominican, which would not have simply been your regular Black American household. Now you have a Black American man with an Afro-Latina woman. You see what I'm saying? So now there's some exoticism, like how there is a valuing of like Puerto Rican women, Dominican women from the island that are elevated and seen as higher than Black women in appeal, right? By the structure of this patriarchal classist bullshit. So again, a successful Black nuclear family. The nuclear family is not inherently Black. We have been believed that is the way it's supposed to be, but that is not inherently Black. Because the truth is, Black families, Black culture historically has been more communal. Even if you look at African cultures and societies, it's been communal raising of the child, which directly is in contrast with the Western nuclear family ideology. The family systems were not just the parents, but also the grandparents. Black folks, grandparents be raising children, aunts, uncles, cousins, even non-blood related family members be raising children. And so the belief in the nuclear family is a classist perspective. It's white and classist. Literally, the phrase, "it takes a village to raise a child," is attributed to African proverbs. So the father is not just responsible for the child, it's the community that's responsible for the child. And so my response was, nothing is wrong with Black educated women of high income being represented, but that woman being held as the paramount of all Black women is problematic and classist. Also, colorism is real. We know that, sis. So don't try to act like it don't have nothing to do with it. Bill Cosby knew exactly who he wanted to be the look, the view, the perspective that he wanted. And we know that Bill Cosby historically plays into respectability politics. And then she said, we have to tear it/her down because it wasn't another Good Times. That is a classist statement. That's classist. Yes, he said there was an interview where he wanted. Please hold.
One of the things that Bill said, he wanted a wife who could speak Spanish.
When she would just lose it, she would just start speaking in Spanish.
¿Cuántos? 25. Ay, no me digas.
Felicia walked in the door, and I just knew how wonderful she was going to be. So finally I said, do you speak Spanish?
Misma casa con ese hombre y sus cartas románticas a la otra mujer, a señorita. No big deal.
Do you speak Spanish?
Sí.
I always thought that was a really wonderful character element that unfortunately didn't stay, and I don't know why.
I concur.
Can we make up?
Perhaps.
I love you.
I know.
Do you love me?
Yes.
Let me hear you say it.
I will have to defer on that request.
Why?
I'm in a conference, Doctor.
Say it in Spanish.
Hay otro abogado aquí y ahora estamos hablando a cosas muy importantes, ¿ok?
I like it, but I don't think you said I love you.
Correctamente, señor doctor.
Okay. But you don't have to say it.
So again, very specific in what he wanted her to be. And he always wanted her to be. I think I read somewhere where like his first iteration of what he wanted was that he was going to be a limo driver and she was going to be a Dominican plumber. So he knew the type of woman, appearance-wise, that he wanted. Now, thinking about that as not the Huxtables where she was a plumber is crazy. So again, there's a lot of people who are pushing back on it and rather saying just what they like. This Daria said, she reminds me the most of my mom personally. So if it's the respectability politics, I got it from her. And we do inherit respectability politics from our parents. We do. If like the whole concept of etiquette is respectability politics and classism. So it's a lot to it, y'all. And so they said for me it was her elegance. With everything else mentioned here, she was graceful and delicate. Delicate. You see this language. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I'm saying that there is a reason why we value delicate. I'm sorry. There's a reason why we value the woman that is graceful and delicate. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that that's wrong to be that way. I'm just saying we got to know that valuing this, putting her gracefulness and her being delicate at the forefront. You know what I'm saying? You said in all like I'm still gonna be black to them at the end of the day, and all of that. The best I can aspire to is being a good one, a title that can be snatched away at any moment. Baby, yes, because graceful and delicate. But guess what? Sometimes you have to let somebody have it for mistreating you. You can't be graceful and delicate. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just like, I gravitated towards, damn, I just missed it. I gravitated toward any professional woman who was more than a mother because they exemplified the life that life can be more about motherhood. I also love the first and Viv for that reason too. Both women were smart, classy, witty and nurturing, but weren't near to play with. But I love the look. Plus, I love the looks. Yeah, but I feel like everybody is missing them concurring with them loving and valuing the classism. Classy literally means classism. She shows that she's of a higher class. Someone says, I think the main appeal for Claire Huxtable was that she was introducing soft parenting to a demographic that where parents were severely emotionally immature. To those that were growing up to it, it shined a light to the other side of what family life could be. Parents with emotional intelligence to help you work through your childhood years. I can see how you got to your opinion. However, I don't think it's the leading. I'm just I don't have an opinion. I'm offering questions. Okay. But the other thing is though, if look, Claire Huxtable was male centered. There was a clear and obvious difference in how she treated Theo versus her daughters. I don't know about that, but there is a way, there's a difference between how black girls are treated and black boys are treated. There's a difference. Right? And that's when I tell you everybody, she was one of the first black moms to be presented in this way. Her show was very much a black show, but it was one that embraced in the mainstream media. Her character is popular because she was really, really popular. All that you mentioned played a role in her popularity as a character, but it's also because she was the most prominent black TV mom at the time. And I get that. But why do we value it? And I think that's now look, she gets it. This is a very interesting conversation. I'm saying that as a fan of Claire. We now know more than ever Bill Cosby was very intentional about how he wanted the Huxtables to be represented as he was invested in respectability. I think there's an argument that can be made for the whole show being popular because of his infusion of these values. And was that why it was so popular? Now that's the question. Was it so popular because it showed classist black people or black people who are operating in a level of classism that we wanted to be attainable? Style, grace. They kept their homes in order while working outside the home. I never cared about what type of professional career they had. I love the way they disciplined their children, never yelling, but you, the audience, felt it. Like when the friend gets in trouble in front of you. But again, right? What are we saying about the women who do yell at their kids? And I just want us to think about this. Because I had to think about it. I said, oh, Lord. Because, yes, in style and in stuff, I live for Claire Huxtable. If I think about my own mother, the way she dressed and operated, just the way her appearance was, I definitely see that she's always put together. When she goes to dress, it's very put together. It's very fashionable. But my mother is a cussing woman. My mother is a yelling woman. My mother would drink beer. She don't drink beer no more, but would drink beer and watch sports and holler and scream. You know, and as does the women in my family. They all love sports. Okay. These are some cussing women, women who laugh loud, but who love to dress cute. So even examining myself, being like, okay, now how much of this, is fed by that? But that's why I live for a cussing woman. I wrote a poem, but I can't read on here because I got cussing in it. But I wrote a poem about thinking, I thank God I came from cussing women. Excuse me. Anyway, so I think we got to have those conversations. But there was very few people who was willing to address their own love, adoration, or high valuing of classism. And I think we got to know how that informs our perspectives. The argument of the nuclear family. Yeah, no, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. But it does. And I think we have to be honest about how we be operating. And if we were honest, things would go a lot easier for us. We just got to be honest. So that's what I think. So I be putting some hot takes on there. I also don't like the idea of a nuclear family. It's a perfect setup for stress, struggle, and isolation and trying to raise a child and just in general. Yeah. Because it is the adherence and the desire for the nuclear family that makes people, women in particular, stay in relationships that are not well for them. Because you don't want to be perceived as some type of way for not having both parents in the home. You think that two parents in the home gives the child the best shot. No. I have nieces and nephews who their mothers are not with their parents, but guess what? Myself, my other brothers, or my brother, there's males that are present. So it doesn't have to be the mom and the dad. There's a lot of family who they're like, you know what, I'm gonna call your uncle. He was like, oh Lord. You know what I'm saying? Or grandparents. Yes. So, but go have those conversations. What things am I valuing? So y'all can go follow me on Instagram threads as I continue to post hot takes. And getting the people razzled. I should take it to TikTok to Claire Huxtable conversation. Ooh, child, the TikTok people gonna I don't know what they're gonna say. Oh, they're gonna terrorize me. They're gonna terrorize me. And I'm gonna blame it on who? Kiara in the comment. I'm blaming it on Kiara. Kiara, I'm gonna say it's Kiara's fault. Possibly in my face. Kiara, you know, I got to blame it on the black woman. Ain't that what we men be doing? Not that. I'm like, oh Lord, I ain't blaming it on black. I'm blaming it on a black woman. I'm just gonna say, I'm just here to ask some questions. And hopefully y'all don't get mad at me. But how many of us love Claire Huxtable because we have an investment in classism? Yeah. They're gonna try to tear me up, child. Oh. I pray we'll all be ready. I pray we'll all be ready. Pray we all be ready for any time. All right. I love y'all from a light filled place, y'all. I gotta go because let's start here. I got to go to I still gotta go to the store. So y'all go forth, conquer, and do the right thing. I'll talk to you all later. If you celebrate the holidays, happy holidays. If you don't, still eat some of this good old food. Do something. Okay? I'll holler at y'all later. Peace, everybody.